thank you for speaking to me today.
Sure, my pleasure, Adam.
Can you tell me your full name and your title, please?
Sure, my name's Dan Joerres. I'm the president and general manager of WBAL-TV.
Can you tell me a little history about yourself and when you began your career in television?
Sure. I started with Hearst Corporation in 1998. As an account executive, I sold advertising at our television station in Milwaukee that our company owns. It's an ABC affiliate. Slowly worked my way up sales management ranks in Milwaukee for about 10 years, and then they moved me to our station in North Carolina, where I was in charge of all of sales there for two and a half years. And then after that, they called and said, we'd like you to move to Baltimore. It's our flagship station. It's the first television station the company ever purchased. William Randolph Hearst purchased the station in 1948, March 11th. So we just started our 70th year of broadcasting, and I'm proud to say that I run WBAL-TV.
How did you feel when you were asked to be the part of WBAL-TV?
To give you an analogy, it was almost like the shock you feel of jumping into the Chesapeake Bay for the first time during the plunge. So it was a great moment. I always wanted to run WBAL. I thought maybe I'd go to a different station first and learn how to run a station there and then eventually move to the East Coast. But I got my dream earlier than planned, and since then it's been a great feeling and a lot of challenges, but a lot of fun along the way.
Cool. So what made you decide you wanted to become involved with the television industry?
Interesting question. My father owned radio stations in Milwaukee when I was a kid, and so I'd always be around the studios and whatnot. Didn't necessarily want to work for my family. Graduated college with a degree in kinesiology, was looking at going to medical school, and needed a job while my wife was finishing her undergraduate degree and eventually her graduate degree. So I got a job selling advertising at the ABC station in Milwaukee, and all of a sudden I started realizing I like this, I love this, it's a great company, and decided to stick with it.
After all of that, what do you do as president and general manager of WBAL-TV?
Well, I oversee the day-to-day operation of the station, the news department, and the sales department, and the engineering department, creative services, of course, finance as well. And we have a programming department. I have 6 individuals that run those 6 departments for me. Those people report up to me and overall see the day-to-day operation.
What is your favorite story you have encountered that you or any of your staff members have done while being here?
It's an interesting question. In April of 2015, Baltimore experienced riots. And while that story was terrible to watch develop on television, there's been many good things that resulted of that. And one of them is the fact that we did a story right after the riots where we had many charities coming to us saying, could you raise money on television? We have to rebuild our city. We took a long, hard thought process through that post-riot moment, and we ended up running a fundraiser to help the WBAL Radio Kids campaign raise money with our morning anchors, Mindy and Jason. And what we did was we were able to send hundreds of kids to camp that summer from West Baltimore. So we did a story on the kids, what they got to experience. We got them out of harm's way and out of some bad places that summer, and they got to experience some wonderful things. And to this day, I can still see the faces of those kids in that story, what they got to experience. It was really hot out that summer, but it was terrific because those kids got to experience something they never would have had we not done the fundraiser.
How did that benefit you and your station by?
Well, it didn't necessarily benefit the TV station. That's our responsibility as broadcasters, is to give back to the community, right? Similar to what we do with the Polar Bear Plunge and all of our friends, the 7,311 Special Olympians. That is our calling, is to be public servants with this magnificent signal that we have. That's WBAL-TV.
So, why do current events like the ones that are that we are currently experiencing matter in our lives today?
Well, I think it's an example of the importance of freedom of press, of having a free press, and the importance of freedom of speech. Our jobs are to tell a fair and balanced story. So it's a challenging time for any type of media outlet to be right down the middle and try to be as fair and balanced as possible. So it's a true test of any broadcaster and any news outlet.
What makes, in your opinion, what makes something fair and balanced when you?
Good question. You always have to get both sides of the story. There's always two sides of a story. Whether people want to offer their opinion or not, that's another question. But we've got to have the amount of resource we need to be able to go out and tell the story the right way.
How does the work you do influence your life or others around you in your job?
Well, the work we do as a news outlet, take the recent storm that just passed on Tuesday. If we do not start newscasts early that day or have enough resource to populate our digital platforms, people may make a mistake and go out and drive when they shouldn't be driving. So the influence we have to the public in keeping public safe, our I-team, our investigative unit, they're responsible to help keep elected officials accountable and tell those types of stories. Right now there's a story in the Baltimore Police Department where there's some overtime fraud going on. That's taxpayer dollars. The taxpayers ought to know about that. So the influence is very widespreading.
How has news media evolved to change the world for your career?
Wow. It's interesting. In 1998, when I started, again, through the sales department, we just had our ABC TV station. And that's all the news department worried about was their early morning newscast, their evening, and their late newscast. Now, think about all the change we've experienced. We have a second TV station in MeTV Baltimore here. We have our app. We have our WBAL-TV.com website. All of that has changed the way that people consume media is not just at 5 p.m. tonight. They may be looking on our app for the most up-to-date weather condition. They may be looking at a breaking news story. So we're more of a 24/7 news outlet than we've ever been.
So you get to share all aspects of media with everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have absolutely expanded our offerings during a short 17, 18-year time frame in my career.
Cool. What is your biggest challenge in presenting the news or running a news station?
It comes down to resource, really. You know, we have a choice of how many people can we hire that are qualified to deliver the type of newscast that we want to and intend to present every day. We have to have the amount of resource of people, equipment, and of course facility here to do our jobs the right way. We choose in the morning news, for example, to have a big cast of characters because we want to tell more stories and populate that newscast with the best content we possibly can. You could deliver a newscast with fewer resources, but is that what the viewer wants these days? They want a lot of content and a lot of storytelling on their terms in an expeditious way.
They want to see from all different angles, from
Absolutely.
different areas.
Absolutely.
So with all of this, where do you hope to see yourself in the next 10 to 15 years after having been in this career so long?
Sure. I think our parent company, the Hearst Corporation, is just a terrific company. I got extremely lucky when I walked into the doors of our ABC affiliate in Milwaukee, not knowing where my career would take me. But short answer is with the Hearst Corporation, either in a general management role or upper management, maybe in New York someday.
Dreams are always a big thing. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
and it makes life fun.
So what are your plans for WBAL-TV in the near future, and how will that influence your audience?
Near future, short term, is to continue to expand our staff, expand our news offerings, and giving our audiences more options as to how to consume our product. It's really, really important to be able to do that. As you see the studio that we're in, this is a recent renovation. We've always got to update our product, make it exciting, and make it watchable as well, because people do become creatures of habit. We don't want them watching wallpaper every day. We want them seeing something new, fresh, clean, crisp, and contemporary.
Yeah, I remember coming back a year or so ago, seeing this place being rebuilt, and
Right.
man, all the technology you just showed me, it looks really high tech, and the viewer, I'm sure, gets a lot out of it just by seeing what they see.
Right. Rarely do our anchors just sit here, but this entire studio space, they stand, the cameras all move as robots. It's very neat to watch, and it's an exciting business, and it's an exciting time to have this type of technology to offer the viewing public.
So here's a good question for you. How has having my fellow Special Olympic Maryland athletes and I made an impact for you and your organization?
Oh, it's a significant impact, a significant partnership. As you saw, this past year we did a big fundraiser in the building for Special Olympics Maryland, and the team raised over $30,000 for the first time ever. It was a great experience because it brought people together from our floor on TV, upstairs, our radio stations. Everybody came together for a great cause. And how can you not love a great fundraiser that benefits a terrific organization?
Your whole building got into it. And,
Totally.
It was really cool seeing how excited they were about
Absolutely.
Not just by the event, but getting the chance to interact with my fellow athletes.
Absolutely. And they have a bar that they're going to have to beat next year too, because $30,000 is just one metric, but they're going to have to raise that for next year, which is fun.
And they're going to have to beat out the finance
team.
department.
Exactly.
So.
That the polar bear trophy, by the way, is like under lock and key. That is a very sacred trophy in this building, so it will not go anywhere.
The Special Olympics athlete oath is let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave of the attempt. How have you been brave in the attempt in your job?
I'm not sure if there's bravery in my role, but there's calculated decision making. And I would go back to the riots, and I would tell you that was a really, really poignant moment for this TV station. When you're watching a story like that develop on TV, your reporters are in harm's way. I would say those are the people that are brave. They're going out with their photographer, and they're telling their story, the story of the public. They're telling the story of our community, while they're in front of a massive fire. There were some bullets being whizzed past some of our reporters. One of our reporters had another individual next to him where a brick was thrown at the person's face. Mm-hmm. That's bravery, because their whole goal is to be able to tell the story, make sure that the public is informed, safe, stay at home, be out of harm's way. We give them the resource to be able to do that. And those are tough decisions because you don't want your people getting hurt. And a lot of times you can't stop terrific reporters and photographers from wanting to go out and tell the story. And it becomes their choice ultimately. But when they come back to the office that night, 2:30 in the morning, we were all here, you watch people come back with soot all over their BAL jackets because they were by a fire, or hearing about somebody that was attacked by a rioter. That's when you really look at it and say, wow, the work that we do is very important, but it's also dangerous in many cases.
So, but being in management position, you help see and make those decisions, if letting them know what is going on, and
right.
You'll when they come back, you help see the story through.
Sure, and you have to have, they needed a debrief moment at 2:30 in the morning. Most of us aren't here typically.
Right.
That was a special day because we all talked about what they had seen, what they had witnessed, and they knew deep down inside they did good for the community because they kept the citizens out of harm's way. When there were a few people from outside of our community, they came in to cause the trouble that we all saw on television.
Okay, well, last question. When you hear someone say the word plunge, what is your first reaction?
First reaction is it's my favorite part of January every single year. It's a prideful moment. I can't thank Jim Schmutz and the team and you guys at Special Olympics for allowing us to be your partner. But it's a real energy boost, and to watch ultimately 10,000 plus people go into the Bay. They each raise $75 minimum. It's $2.5 million that we know helps fulfill dreams of Special Olympians, it's a great feeling is what it is.
We really appreciate you and
Absolutely.
WBAL and the whole Hearst Corporation being there for my fellow athletes. And, it means the world to have you be not just our partner, but being part of our family to share the stories of what we can do and who we are.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. So.
Well, thank you for joining me today and telling me a bit about WBL and about your job.
You got it. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Dan.
All right.